2-leg college and career roadmap series. And this afternoon, we're here to talk about networking 101, how to feel comfortable in networking situations and some tips and tricks you can use to make that experience easier for you. And we have a special guest, Kimberly Krause from Konnections Certification, who will be leading us through this workshop. And our format today will be about a 30-minute presentation, and then we'll have time for Q&A at the end. So be thinking about questions that you would like to ask. And this presentation is part of what's going to be a 6-month-long series of college and career roadmap sessions to help students of all ages and families prepare for all things college and career. And this is brought to you through the Regional College Fair Alignment Team, which is part of One Future Coachella Valley, with great partnership and support from Agua Caliente Band of Cahuilla Indians and our 3 school districts and post-secondary partners here in the Valley. So welcome, and we hope you'll join us for future presentations. But right now, excited to introduce Kimberly Krause, and she is the founder and CEO of Konnections Certification, which is all about helping students prepare for networking and interviewing and practicing those skills that will help you keep a job. So Kimberly Krause, welcome.
Thank you, Kim. Thanks for having me. I really enjoy speaking on this subject. It is my passion. So I really believe in connections and networking. So I love talking about it. And thank you, Andrea, for attending, and Ricardo. And thank you for those of you that are watching it in the future for taking the time to get to know about getting out in your community and really networking and making connections for your future and theirs. It's just an exciting opportunity, and definitely take the time to learn about it. And I'm glad you're here. I'm going to share my screen here. So I think a big part of networking and getting out in your community and building trust with others is learning about each other and the day-to-day things we have in common, and learning those things. So today I'll share a little bit about me and my background and my family. So if you look at this picture, you can see here on the left is my daughter, Kayleen. She's a recent graduate of Northern Arizona University. She's a sociology minor, criminology major, looking for a job as we speak. Next to her is my husband, Mark, and he's the general manager at Desert Water Agency, and just a great guy. Next gentleman is my son, Clayton, and he just recently graduated May of 19 from Chico State, and he is a history major. And he's a writer as we speak. And my daughter, Morgan, she lives in Texas, and she has my granddaughter, Kaylee, there, who's now 5. This picture was a little while ago, so I miss them being so far away in Texas, but the opportunity to FaceTime a lot has been great. So I just think it's important to know about each other. And when you go to different networking events and you meet people, it's just nice to find out about their personal side as well as their business side. It definitely builds trust and relationships. All right, I like to live my life on a pie chart. And I always love to say this because if you're on this call or listening to this call, you obviously care about your future. And maybe you sign up for a lot of things, and maybe sometimes it's a little tough to say no. So I like to live my life on a pie chart. It helps me prioritize. It helps me focus on the things that are really important in my life. And more than that, it helps me what to not add on so that I can give those important things 100%. So that's my little tip for your life. What's the definition of networking? Networking is one of those words that people kind of go, what really is it? Well, the official definition, it's much more than this, but the official definition is it's the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional, and I would say, and/or social contacts. So a lot of times it's both. And that's a beautiful thing. And you'll really find relationships for a long time that you meet through networking. So the definition is just kind of connecting and helping and finding out about others so you can recommend them and they can find out about you and possibly recommend you. So networking tips in person. Obviously, we're at a little different spot now, but I think now with the light at the end of the tunnel with the vaccine, who knows, we could be out there again. I'm so excited. So I just love being out in the community and connecting with people. So the tips I like to say for in-person networking is an introduction is when you first connect with them. You come to an event, let's say you walk in the door and just go up to people. Everybody's there to meet people, so feel comfortable. It's a little bit, you may be a little bit nervous, but just get in there and do it. Um, we don't know what it's going to look like. Hands over our heart, hands together. We may be back to the handshakes. I really don't know, but we're prepared and be ready. And whatever it is at the time, you'll get a chance to connect and introduce that way. Ask 2 pre-planned questions before you even get to the event. So let's say you're at, you're getting ready to go to an event, a mixer or a ribbon cutting or something. And if you know ahead of time 2 questions that would work for anybody, have those ready. Did you grow up in the Valley? What made you choose your career? Have those questions ready. And that way it's more comfortable when you interact after your introduction. Share your goals. I guarantee you, our business and nonprofit community want to know what your goals are and how you plan on achieving them and what your ideas are. You're the future workforce for these people. So they want to know, what are your dreams? What are your goals? And it helps them connect to when they were your age. So they love to hear about it. So feel free to share your goals. Have an elevator speech ready. The elevator speech, sometimes at networking events, you need to stand up and they say, speak for 30 seconds about yourself. So it's mainly the who, what, when, where, why about you or your business or whoever you're representing. And you get up there and just kind of share a little bit about it. And sometimes you ask for an ask. So if you're a business, you'd have a specific ask like, this week we have a sale on such and such. Please tell your friends, or, different asks of a specific topic that week come in handy. And follow-up is the most important thing. And you'll hear us talk about that a lot today. It's just a common thread because it's so crucial to follow up. It's something after my whole life of networking, am still working on, just so you know. So here's some different ways that we could possibly be interacting. Instead of the traditional handshake, we could be putting our hands together. We may be putting our hand over our heart. We may be putting our hands up. I don't know what it's going to look like, but here's some ideas of what it could. And, the handshakes may be a thing of the past. We'll find out. But eye contact, regardless. Eye contact is always crucial. And it's a little bit tricky when you're online, and we'll talk about that. But eye contact and whatever form is very important. Now we're online. Here's an example of a networking group that meets every Tuesday. They're referral partners, and every Tuesday they get on and they talk for 40 seconds about their business, about their nonprofit, and then at the end they recommend different businesses or refer them. And there's always a speaker that comes. So those are an opportunity for you to give your elevator speech. And when you're online, you want to always give your introduction, just like we talked about, and then try to be in the middle of the screen. So not too high and not too low, because a lot of times you see people kind of down here or looking down, way down low in direction. You want to really be in the middle and prepared to present and speak if you can, and have a basic background and an appropriate attire. So those are things to always keep in mind. You want to listen attentively to those introductions. So when people are giving introductions, be real careful that they don't see the top of your head because you're on your phone, right? And be really careful that you're not, it's okay to chat occasionally in the chat, but don't do it constantly, because it's kind of like if you were in person and people were talking, you wouldn't be whispering or talking. So consider online politeness the same as in-person politeness. Listen attentively. Prepare questions for the speaker. Same as we were talking about having pre-prepared questions. Or if a speaker's talking, have questions ready. Like right now, make sure that you have questions ready. Ask me later. I love questions. I love to give my best form of answer I can. So please do. Elevator speech, same thing. We talked about that. Elevator speech is just kind of going through the who, what, when, where, why, and have that prepared. And follow-up. Again, follow-up is so, so, so important. So why would you network? I know I have a lot of introverts in my life that think that, why even network? Why is that important? And I'm constantly reminding them, well, do you remember when you met this person? Aren't you thankful that you did? Because now you guys have this long relationship. You recommend each other. You have a trust built. And it's kind of a hard concept for a lot of people, but it truly, in my mind, is the big picture because we need each other. So who you know is very important. You know, you may meet somebody who knows somebody at a college you like to go to, or knew somebody was in a department or at a job, or there's so many things. It's so important to get to know as many people as you can. Relationships build trust. Out of all those people that you meet, some of them you're really going to build some strong core relationships. Mrs. McNulty, Kim McNulty, and I have had a long, long relationship with business, personal, all different throughout the years, and it's a gift, and I'm so grateful. Connections build futures. So when you make those connections, you may make some here in the business community and in the networking and nonprofit community. You may go off to college. You know, you've got those relationships to come back to, which may help you if you're looking for a job. It may help you if you're, you just have a question like, I don't know what to do in this job situation. What would you do? How cool is that, right? Expertise provides thought. So when you hear people's stories, it really ignites some thoughts in your head about, that is something that I really, really need to think about. And you'll be surprised down the line when you think of something, go, I remember when Joe Smith said such and such, that applies here. So listen to that expertise and think about it. Just put it in there, take notes. And it encourages mentorship. So you really, really get an opportunity to be mentored by those experts. And then you'll be amazed how quickly you start being a mentor. And another person will come in that hasn't been to an event that you've been to several times. You get the opportunity to introduce them to people. What a great building of trust, and what a great way to establish relationships and to build your confidence helping others. There's all different kinds of follow-up. So I always suggest, I have a company that's people are getting their certificates, young adults are getting their certificates in networking for resumes and applications. So what I always recommend is that after they've met somebody at a networking event, and of course you've received cards and business cards and contacts, email them within 24 hours. Express in that email how you appreciated them taking the time, you enjoyed meeting them, and give your contact information and some plans. And then that's just kind of a nice way. And it really makes a big difference if they know you took that time. You'll stick in their minds, trust me. Then I think you should also take those contacts and email them in about 3 months and say, hey, I was at work or I was at school today, and I just did not know what to do with a coworker or co-student that had this situation. What would you do in this situation? Give me advice on how you would handle it. This is what I did. What do you think? All that relationship building is so important, and they'll remember you from emailing before, having met them at the networking event, and then they'll be complimented that you asked their advice 3 months later. So, and there's nothing on that strict on the time frame. It's just kind of a good judge a scale. Do your best to take a picture with them at an event. People love that. Or if they don't, it's still what we do. You take photos and then post them on social media. So if you are meeting Fraser's Pest Control and you say, oh my gosh, thanks for taking the time. Let's take a picture together. You've got their card. Post on social media that they took the time to meet with you and how much you appreciate it. Tag them, their business name, and hashtag their business name, or set a certain connections or networking hashtag for yourself so you can refer to those later also. So make sure you tag and hashtag. You can text questions, but texting is more, you've already established the email and the posting. And a text is kind of a later, like, oh my gosh, today I was just doing this and it made me think of your business. Just have a great day. I mean, little things like that are great. And you've got their number on their business card. You can text them. Don't use that as your formal thank you or acknowledgement. Call them with questions. They may not be able to answer, and tradition, it seems to be more and more people do text, but a call is okay. It's okay. And then of course, the ultimate, the grand poobah of them all is if you were to do a handwritten note. Now, trust me, they would probably be in shock because it's just not done as much as it has been. But I'm telling you, that would win impressions that like you wouldn't believe, a handwritten note that you took the time, and you've got their address again on their business card. So just a little tip there. There's a sheet there that I have that kind of goes through when somebody's signing up to be a recipient of a networking certificate. We just kind of have criteria and different places for them to meet. That's what that spreadsheet was. So the main thing that I want to say in conclusion, as far as here's my connections information, how to reach me. I love questions. Please give me questions, lots of them. Write me, text me. Today would be a good practice. If you happen to watch this presentation today or in the future, send me an email saying what you did or didn't learn. Take the time to practice follow-up. This is considered follow-up. Email me and check the website out and everything so you can, and questions, I love questions. I'm trying to think if there's anything I mainly missed. I just want to make sure follow-up and pre-planned questions and take the time to go out and meet your community is so important. Did I say types of, I had on there types of networking. Did I already go through that?
Nope.
Well, it's not on there, and I will go ahead and go through some of those. I thought I missed something. So types of networking are all different kinds, and I'll go ahead and stop sharing here. So types of networking can be so many things. An example of types of network would be a ribbon cutting. A ribbon cutting is usually put on by the Chamber of Commerce in your city. Every city has one. And a ribbon cutting is when a business has gone through all the licensing, financing. They've done so much. The business has done so much. Let's say it's a local bar or a local shop or a local hairdresser. They've done so much to get their business ready. Then they have a ceremony that cuts the ribbon, just saying, hey, the business is open. Welcome to the business. It's such a great thing to attend because you're telling that business that you care enough about them to take time and celebrate with them. They will remember you because they're so nervous. They're so nervous that they started their business and people took the time to come and celebrate them. So go to those. And then the people that attend, those are great people to network with too. I always recommend any kind of Chamber of Commerce lunches. Now, of course, online Zooming, your local Rotaries, they have online meetings now. It's great to go to those and find out philanthropic ways that you can help in your community. So, for example, Desert Hot Springs Rotary just is booming with young activities for their kids. Their interactors, are they're called, and they volunteer in the community. And a lot of the Rotaries do that with young adults. Do that because you're mixing with the business community and they have big hearts. They're philanthropic and they would love to help you with their businesses. Other things are just charity events. If you go to a charity event, usually before the event, there's an hour or so before the event and everybody's meeting, visiting, introducing before the event itself. Great opportunity to meet people. And also I always send out every week a list of different networking opportunities, sometimes text, sometimes email, just letting you know what's going on. You can email me and I'll send you that list each week for an opportunity to kind of get on there and meet different people in your community. So that was it.
That's really great. So I heard it's important to show up and introduce yourself, have a really short elevator speech about who you are, and that's sort of who, what, when, where, why, and how that you're there. And if you have something where you're promoting, like a webinar or an activity you want people to participate with, you should be prepared to share that. And also to listen when someone is speaking and sort of take notes, and have a couple of pre-prepared questions when you walk into a new setting so that you feel comfortable meeting new people. And those are things like, how long have you been in the Valley? Just very simple things. Tell me a little bit about your business and what you do, so that you have an opportunity to get to know people. And even you can network virtually or in person, and at any way, those core sort of tenets cross through, right? So acknowledge, do a fist bump, or hand over the heart or something, and you can connect with students.